Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra on digital address GA0993341. It's broadcasting live on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, proudly Ghanaian, Telesol, just a touch, and UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go. Also brought to you by Mac Auto Parts Ghana, distributors of Isuzu pickups and Chevy vehicles. Mac Auto Parts, with you for the long run. Coming up in this edition, divers retrieve body of a Sith victim of last night's flood disaster at Adeja in the Ashanti region.
It got inside the bridge like this and one person died. It is very difficult for big, small cars to cross.
We'll get an update on the situation as residents protest government's failure to heed calls for the bridge there to be fixed. Private property owners object to quick notice to vacate area earmarked for National Cathedral as they warn it will cost millions to get them out. We'll bring you details. Meanwhile, member of the project's board of trustees rejects suggestions Cathedral must make room for members of other religions.
This is the decision from the president. He didn't say I am making Interfaith Center. He said I am making a cathedral for Christians.
Minister of State in charge of tertiary education commends authorities of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology for converting all male halls into mixed ones.
If we continue to perpetuate the exclusive male, exclusive female thing within our setting in the light of realities, we will not be happy in the realization of the National Development Plan.
Their sports.
Yes, and the Black Stars are wrapping up preparations in Nairobi to play Kenya tomorrow in the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. We've got some team news for you.
And later, retired Supreme Court Judge VCRAC Crab dies at the age of 95. We'll look back at the life of the former head of the Electoral Commission.
The point I want to make is that a constitution is not concrete. It may change, and it may change with time. There must be continuity, even in the operation of the Constitution, because you're dealing with human beings.
We have all that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. We start on a sad note. Divers have found the body of a Sith victim of last night's flood disaster at Adeja in the Ashanti region. The deceased adult male, identified only as Reko, was traveling with 5 others when their car was swept away by strong current in an attempt to cross a collapsed bridge. The dead, including a young boy. It actually includes a young boy, but Erastus Asari Donko, who followed the incident all night, witnessed retrieval of the last victim's body earlier today and reports.
This bridge, broken months ago, causes the river Akonim to overflow its banks. At the least downpour, Thursday's rains was no exception. In an attempt to drive his way through the dangerous currents on the hinges of a broken bridge, this vehicle carrying 6 people was swept away. There was no rescue as police and fire service personnel who came to the scene were helpless. With no specific tool, when the waters receded, the vehicle was found stuck in the middle of the river. Local divers initially retrieved 5 bodies from the vehicle, 1 female, a boy, and 2 male adults. The body of the deceased person, driver of the vehicle, was found this morning by local divers. Residents are enraged. They want the bridge fixed immediately.
The flood, because the bridge is very narrow for the river. So when the flood comes here, it overflows the bridge. This is the second time that this incident has happened.
When was the first time?
The first time we killed one boy with a Kia. It got inside the bridge like this and one person died. So when the blood overflows this bridge, it is very difficult for big, small cars to cross unless the big trucks. So this man, when he was coming, he was following one of the sprinter cars. So when that car crossed, he thought he can also cross. Meanwhile, this one is very small. That's why he got inside. The water pushed it to the other side of the bridge. And you can see that the other side of the bridge has also collapsed. So it hit the wall and somersaulted into the river.
What is going to happen if it continues to rain in the coming days?
The situation is becoming worse and worse. You can see that the situation is worsening more because these rains are very strong and the flood is also happening continuously. So when something is not done immediately, then this side of the town will be cut off from the town. No one can cross to the other side.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Adija Estresso, Kumasi.
And Erastus followed the incident all night and witnessed the retrieval of the bodies. And he joins us live on the line. Erastus, so sixth body retrieved. Just clarify for us, is that the last?
Come again, MFA.
I'm asking that this is the sixth body we are told has been retrieved. Is that the last body?
That's the last body because family of the 6 say there were 6 in number and they were in the vehicle at that particular time. So the driver was the missing link and now he has been found.
So how have authorities of the Jehovah's Witness been reacting to the death of their congregants?
In fact, there's been outpouring of love and grief at the same time. Hundreds of them have been trooping to the family house trying to console and show some love to those who have been affected.
Let's talk about this bridge, Erastus. We heard residents there complain about it, that they've been asking or appealing to authorities to fix it. Give us a picture of the state of that bridge.
Well, from a layman's point of view, you could see that this was a shoddy job done because the bridge has broken in two. The concrete slab has broken directly into two pieces. The other one is hanging on a loose thread. And the other one is the one that vehicles are trying to use. Very, very narrow indeed. And so if it's not fixed and we have more rains coming in, it's possible that the whole village or the whole town will be cut off.
Now, in the wake of this incident, have we heard from authorities and any assurances of repairing it in the wake of this incident?
Well, the DC came there and he was giving some assurances, but it looks like it did not go down well with the people who you heard in the background saying they won't vote if the bridge is not fixed because they claim he has given such assurances before and nothing has been done about it.
Erastus Asaredonko there following that incident and bringing us up to speed on it. Now, away from that. Sounds of some residents of Kwewu in the eastern region protesting the incessant cases of armed robbery attacks in the area. The protesters, mostly market women and commercial drivers, hit the Tafu to Adoso highway to demand police action against these robbery attacks. The action follows multiple robbery attacks on residents in the past week alone. The robbers in the most recent case attacked market women who were returning from Afram Plains and made away with millions of Ghana cedis. They say police in the area lack the needed logistics, especially patrol vehicles to deal with the menace. Correspondent Kofi Sian is on that beat for Joy News and joins us live on the line. Kofi, so how many cases exactly have we recorded so far that's leading to these protests? We'll get to speak to Kofi Sian shortly, but we understand we've been joined on the phone by the Imperial District Police Commander DSP Oponwe Jare. Thank you very much for your time here on the Midday News. So you've heard residents of your area, they're complaining about incessant attack by armed robberies in the past week alone. What do the police know about these?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. So I'm asking that you've heard your residents, they are protesting some recent armed robbery attacks in the area. They are also, amongst others, saying that you lack the needed logistics to be able to deal with the situation. Is that the case?
Yes, to some extent, yes. There has been some robbery cases of late, of which the police is doing everything possible to curb the menace. Now, as we speak, we've drawn men from Nkoko in collaboration with the Impriso patrol team, we are patrolling that section of the road to ensure that market women and drivers who apply those rules go there safely without any interruption by the alleged armed robbers, please.
But from your stand, or from where you stand as the police, how serious is the situation in the area?
Well, intermittently, people believed to be Fulani herdsmen attack drivers and market women who apply that route. The fight against them has been a bit difficult because the route we are talking about is surrounded by large forests and it is mountainous. These Fulani men reside in this bush, and it is extremely very difficult to go there. In fact, to walk from where we are to that place is very, very far, and even the community themselves don't go there. So they come from this bush and come and attack these market women and run back into the bush. And even if you try to even fight them, before you get to the bush, they have even seen you long time, and they will get themselves hidden somewhere. So what we are doing is that we have intensified patrols on that section of the road to ensure that we don't give them the room to operate at all.
So in the immediate, because today your residents have been protesting, in the immediate, you've talked about patrols. What other concrete measures have you put in place?
Yes, measures that we've put in place is that, looking at the area, in fact, patrols is what is going to curb the menace. Patrols is what is going to curb the menace. And the routes are not just one. So we are going to divide our men on the various sections of the road, make sure that we put in enough men there to patrol the road 24 hours to ensure that nobody gets there to operate.
We're grateful for your time. That's the Impriso District Police Commander, DSP Opong Ejari. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, some private property owners are objecting to a quick notice to vacate the area earmarked for construction of the controversial National Cathedral. They have served notice it will cost government millions of dollars to take over their land. Lands Minister Peter Amewu wrote on 30th May 2018 to communicate government's plan to pay the company compensation to acquire the land for the purposes of the cathedral project. But the owners, though through their lawyers, replied complaining about the short notice and warning it will cost a lot of money. Here are extracts of that letter.
Most sensitive and expensive IT infrastructure for many state entities, including the Bank of Ghana, SEPS, SNIT, CSD, GSE, GRA, and other corporate organizations home and abroad. According to the owners, while the period given for relocation is practically impossible, it will cause major disruptions in sensitive services provided to government and other clients. It will also cause violations of the contracts they have entered into with various entities. They argue that, quote, our view being that it's being doubtful that acquisition of our client's interest in the property can be justified on any of the aforesaid grounds, given the heterogeneous nature of the Ghanaian society in terms of religion, unquote. This is yet further evidence that government's initial claim, corroborated by the group of clergy for the cathedral that the project comes at no cost to the taxpayer, is pure lies.
So you hear the extracts of that letter. But a member of the Board of Trustees supervising the project, Reverend Frimpong Manso, has meanwhile rejected suggestions that the proposed architecture of the cathedral be amended to accommodate other religions.
It is not my decision.
Are you not open to that particular suggestion?
This is the decision.
But you on the committee for implementation.
Yes. This is the decision from the president. He didn't say I am making interfaith center. He said I am making a cathedral for Christians. So if the Muslims think they have a case, they should not come to us. They should not even go to the media. They should make appeal to the president to ask for their piece of the pie.
And you as a committee, you have no right to make amendments to the original proposal?
As for me, I will not even agree if I had a right.
You hear that Reverend Dr. Frimpong Manso, a member of the Board of Trustees for the National Cathedral. Now, Parliament's Finance Committee is quizzing officials of the Securities and Exchange Commission over how monies at some of the 7 collapsed banks were moved through their sister investment firms. The committee, which began last Wednesday, would later today conclude its 3-day investigation into the collapse. Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us with live updates on the committee's proceedings. Joseph, so what have we gathered so far from the hearing today?
So the hearing with the Security and Exchange Commission officials was actually ended. It ended a few minutes ago. The chief executive of that organization, actually led the team. We gather that they've been explaining to members of the committee the specific institutions in terms of investment firms are linked with some of the collapsed banks and the correlation between the two and how those investment firms are faring even after the banks went down. And they were provided with details on how the relationship between some of those investment firms and the banks had been even before the banks went down. We gather again that during that particular sitting, questions around the role that Men's Gold is playing as far as the investment space is concerned also came up. The committee members moved even beyond the banking convention and sought to understand the kind of supervisory role that the Security and Exchange Commission is playing in that particular regard. And they explain that, the various institutions are working to monitor. The National Insurance Commission just are currently before the committee. And with that, we gather that the specific focus is how some of the pension funds were moved when it comes to some of the banks that went down and whether the insurance firms that they were with are still viable and would ensure that the pensions of pensioners are actually safe. That's what the focus is on now, and we understand that any moment from now, that session will be done, and then there will be the briefing by.
So, after the Securities and Exchanges Commission, who else or which other institution are we expecting?
And so, for the first 3 days, which is the preliminary investigation by the committee, this is where it all comes to an end, and the committee will then be retiring to do an initial assessment as to whether they should do with an expanded.
Hello, Joseph.
Information to make their recommendations on that. That decision will be taken after they are done with the National Insurance Commission today.
Well, but I'm sure you've been interacting with some members of the committee. There were earlier controversy about whether this is a probe that will not end in anything or not amount to anything. So far, interacting with the members, are they satisfied with what they've heard so far?
The committee members have indicated that so far the information that they've laid hands on over the 3 days of interrogation has really given them a lot of details and insight into how the bank, Fifi, who is the minority figure on the committee, for example, explains that a lot of the things that they had information on earlier was on social media and mainstream media, but they've gotten very concrete information and they are confident that any recommendations they would make would be very solid and would help prevent the further collapse of banks in the country. Joseph
Opoku-Gakpo there will give us more in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, officials of the Bank of Ghana have dismissed accusations by member of the committee, John Jinapo, that the central bank governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, evaded most of the committee members' questions when he appeared before them. AC Hammond is public relations officer for the central bank, and she spoke to my colleague Araba Kumsin a while ago.
But the governor would appear in this very important proceedings to provide accurate, factual information. That is what we can do. By being people saying he's being evasive, I'm not sure exactly what they mean, because we deal with the facts as they are, and that is it. And this is what he went there to do. I really do not think the work of the Finance Committee is to judge anybody. As legislators, they would need all the information to arm themselves as the laws they make. Where reviews or amendments are required, for example, they do so based on in-depth analysis of issues and so on. So the governor was there to provide them with all the information that we have and we use in the line of our business, and that is it. Okay. That's all he can do, to provide them with a fact. I'm sure we would be able to provide them with any information that they request in line with our operational guidelines, in line with what we need to be able to furnish the public at this point.
You have AC Hammond speaks for the Central Bank. Now, still to come here on the Midday News, Minister of State in charge of tertiary education commends authorities of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology for converting all mill halls into mixed ones.
If we continue to perpetuate the exclusive male, exclusive female thing within our setting in the light of realities, we will not be helping in the realization of the National Development Plan.
And later, retired Supreme Court Judge VCRAC Crab dies at the age of 95. We look back at the life of the former head of the Electoral Commission.
The point I want to make is that a constitution is not concrete. It may change, and it may change with time.
Your family station, Joy 99.7, brings to you the Back to School Fair. It's your one-stop shop for all school supplies. You no longer have to worry about the stress of shopping for your awards. The Joy FM Back to School Fair brings together all vendors under one roof. And if you're looking to enroll or change schools for your child, there'll be reps from various schools to provide the relevant information to help you make that important decision. The date is Friday 7th to Sunday 9th of September 2018 at the Providence Event Center adjacent Otachill Trade Fair. Come along with the kids to have fun and meet your favorite presenters while you shop. Admission is free. The Joy FM Back to School Fair is brought to you by Nataraj by JK Industries and Investments Limited. Nataraj, easy to erase and sharpen. And MTN Mobile Money, just Momo it everywhere you go. Republic Bank, we are the one for you. Educare plan from Enterprise Life. Enterprise, your advantage. Pepsi, own the moment. Still one Ghana city pay. Big, always gives you more. I know I can.
That is the sweet sound of excellence. That is the sound from Mac. Yes, Mac Ghana is the #1 distributor of the world's best quality Isuzu and Chevrolet vehicles in Ghana. Isuzu trucks from 1.5 tons to heavy-duty vehicles. Isuzu buses from 15 to 33 seaters, double and single cabin pickup, available in automatic and manual transmissions. We also stock a wide range of Chevy cars from SUVs, sedans, and small cars, fully loaded with exquisite specifications. All our range of vehicles stand out due to its high fuel efficiency, safety, luxury, spacious interior, world-class delivery, and after-sales servicing. What's more, we offer flexible payment terms to meet your pockets. Mark Ghana is a sole distributor for Isuzu trucks and pickups, as well as all range of Chevrolet cars in Ghana. Call us on 0302-813-919 in Accra or 0242-039-550 in Kumasi. Visit our website markghana.com. Mark Ghana, with you for the long run.
Now, this very moment, it's the pulse of possibility, potential, power. It's time
to make your move,
to take that step.
The time
is now.
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 The great things you do tomorrow start with the small steps you take right now. So take that step with Old Mutual. Call us on 0302-230-638 and make now count. Old Mutual. Do great things every day.
You're welcome back to the Midday News. It's time now for sports. And Ridwan Ibrahim Asante is in the studios.
Yes, we've got a series of qualifiers on the continent to the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations, and the Black Stars will train at the Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi today to finalize preparations for tomorrow's qualifier against Kenya in Group F. Head coach Kwesi Appiah will drop hints of which players will be making a starting lineup to face the Harambee Stars. Many expect Inter Milan midfielder Kojo Asamoah to play his first match for the team on his return after a 4-year self-imposed exile. Defender Daniel Paris says the Inter Milan player will be key to their campaign to their quest. That's tomorrow.
I know Kojo way back, and he's a fantastic guy, a good player, and him coming back to the national team, I think he'll have a great impact on the team, and we are happy to welcome him back. And Kojo is is one of the most important players in the team, and as a senior player, so we are happy to see him all the time.
So that's Black Stars defender Kojo Asamoah, Daniel Parry on Kojo Asamoah's return to the Black Stars and how he expects him to play in tomorrow's qualifier against Kenya.
Let's meet at the back to school fair. Have some gift voucher for your 5 children.
Yes.
Okay. So now, psychologist Ni Notedria wants government to whip institutions mandated to deal with sexual abuse into action. A class 2 pupil in Kaswa is unable to walk for weeks after she fell off a table as she tried to flee from her class teacher who was allegedly inserting his fingers into her vagina. The heartbreaking story was first reported by our sister station at Dome FM. Speaking on the Super Morning Show, Notedria urged government to put in basic measures to ensure the protection of Ghanaian children.
We need to now set up a society that says, hey, it doesn't happen here and you will pay a price. Why did we add social protection to the gender ministry? Things that we should whip the system into action.
Okay.
There are structures under the system. There's the GES, there's the DOVSU, there's this, there's that, right? And make sure, the same way we are doing this meticulous forensic audit of the financial sector, this also requires a forensic audit. How it happened, has it happened before, are there other victims? In other parts of the world, you even buy property, right? And they will tell you the nearest sexual offender. They've mapped it, right? So that as you move into that area, you know whether you are going into a safe area or not. We have not reached that level of sophistication, but there are basic things that we can do that protect, especially our children. In school.
So already some benevolent Ghanaians have already volunteered to pay the medical bills of the 9-year-old girl. Now, Minister of State in charge of tertiary education has commended authorities of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology for converting all male halls into mixed ones. Professor Kwesi Yanka believes the move is in accordance with national policy and changing global trends. Speaking during a familiarization visit to the halls earlier today, the minister says it will serve as an example for all other universities to emulate.
Some of the images that I saw during the demonstrations on television, including coffins and so on, virtually a war was being waged against the authorities. Eventually, when the court decided, I thought dust had settled sufficiently. But I was particularly disturbed also after your female student had successfully entered. When we thought all was well, then suddenly emerged in the social media and in the newspapers very disturbing news of what appeared to be considerable harassment that was taking place, which was very, very, very disturbing, which was also a signal that all was not well and that the university probably needs to tighten security and certain aspects of its own operations to protect women. The men are brothers of the women and vice versa. And that's the kind of integration and cohesion that the world wants. If we continue to perpetuate the exclusive male, exclusive female thing within our setting in the light of realities, we would not be helping in the realization of the National Development Plan. So I'm here to congratulate you for the wonderful and done pace that you have set for the rest of tertiary institutions to follow. But also, in a way, see for myself whether it is true by projecting what is really happening on campus, that the coexistence has been successful, has been peaceful, and I say the credit once again goes to both management and students. They have cooperated in spite of the initial challenges.
Minister of Tertiary Education. Now, a former Supreme Court judge, Justice V.C.R.A.C. Crab, is dead at the age of 95. Joy News sources close to his family confirm the late judge died in the early hours of today. Justice V.C.R.A.C. Crab is best known as the man who set up the country's electoral commission. Here's a News Desk report looking back at the life of the respected statesman.
Vincent Cyril Richard Arthur Charles Crab is a retired Supreme Court judge of Ghana and a former professor of law at the University of West Indies. He was recently a professor of law at Montcrest University College in Accra. Mr. Crab was born on October 29, 1923 in Accra. He was educated at the Government Junior and Senior Boys School and Accra Academy for the Cambridge Junior and Senior School certificates. He later went to London to study economics at the City of London College from 1950 to 1952. In August 1952, he was admitted to the Honourable Society of the Inner Temple to read law. He completed the normal 3-year course in 2 years and was called to the bar on the 8th of February 1955. He progressed from Assistant Crown Counsel to Parliamentary Counsel, the first African to be appointed as such, and ended up as a senior instructor at the International Law Development Center in Rome, Italy. In between, he has held the post of First Parliamentary Counsel and Constitutional Advisor to the Ugandan government, Director of the Commonwealth Secretariat Scheme for Legislative Draftsman for the West African region, Southern African region, the Caribbean region, and a Professor of Legislative Drafting at the Cave Hill campus, Barbados University of Indies. Crabbe was Special Commissioner to the 1968 Constitutional Commission. He was the chairman of the 1979 Constituent Assembly and drafted the 1979 Constitution of Ghana. He worked with the Constitutional Review Commission of Kenya and was leader of the group of draftspersons who drafted the Kenyan Constitution. He did work for the Zambian Constitutional Commission for the drafting of the Zambian Constitution, as well as the Fiajo Review Commission for the review of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. With Justice P.N. Bagwati, former Chief Justice of India, and Justice Eso of the Supreme Court of Nigeria to advise on the setting up of the Constitutional Court in South Africa.
Indeed, another legend has fallen. His was a life well lived. It's time now to check what's trending on social media. Maps?
Hashtag Lucky is trending, and Lucky is a Ghanaian film by Abstract, premiering tonight. And Lydia Foston is saying, I'm going to support the hashtag Lucky movie tonight. Who else is going there? And at Cuss_Pat says, we took time to get hashtag Lucky. Tonight, it finally comes out. I know we've made someone's favorite movie, hashtag Lucky. And the last tweet is from at Johnny Stone 11, who says, all my friends are going to watch Lucky today. I must be the only person not able to go.
It's hashtag Lucky. That's it for the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am MFR Pau. Enjoy your weekend.